What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope you're all enjoying your day today. Let's go ahead and just dive right into our daily cryptocurrency content and analytics for today. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin dominance and how its correlation with altcoins may start to separate from its strong correlation with Bitcoin's price movement. And then we're also going to be taking a look at some of the headlines in the news today. And then Bitcoin's technical analysis, you can see if we dive right into this, we are seeing a little bit of resistance right along that red EMA here, not necessarily going above it just yet. So we're still watching to see whether or not Bitcoin is not only going to cross over on top of that EMA, but also see its RSI go above 40. We're still watching that right now. You can see it's right at 39, and we're at a critical point for Bitcoin's RSI to see whether or not we're going to go into this neutral zone, because if we head into this neutral zone, what we're most likely going to see with this RSI is it go up, bounce on top, find support at 40, and then start going right back up, which is going to be exciting for this market. Taking a look at Bitcoin's MACD, you can also see the crossover is now being met as well. So as soon as this fast length crosses over that slow length, that's an extremely bullish reaction here. You can see the last time that happened here, as soon as we crossed over, we swung all the way back up. So just like yesterday's live stream, we're going to swing back up. But let's take a look at some headlines that we have here in the market. First one is the title of this video, right? Bitcoin dominance could end soon, says Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse. If you guys don't know, Brad Garlinghouse, very prominent figure in the cryptocurrency verse, especially having his involvement with Ripple. You can see it says here, there's a very high correlation between the price of XRP and the price of Bitcoin, but ultimately these are independent open source technologies. And then he says later in the interview, it's early, and over time you'll see a more rational market and behaviors that reflect that, indicating or actually talking about the consumers in this market being quite ignorant about these projects and not understanding the use case, and that's why there's such a correlation in this market. So he's saying once the audience matures and people realize what this market consists of, they're going to make more rational decisions, and we're not going to see such a correlation with Bitcoin's price and the altcoin prices. So it's going to be a very important time for us to see when that occurs, because you can see in the overall market, as soon as Bitcoin sees green, the majority of the market also sees green, and that's not something that we want, because we might as well just trade Bitcoin if that's the case, right? So understanding the market in this current state, you do want to use Bitcoin as an initial indicator, but as you do more technical analysis and as this market matures, we're going to start seeing coins act in its own independent manner, which is going to be an exciting time in this market, in my opinion. So what do you guys think? Let's take some questions from the live audience before we dive in. Somebody says, you shaved without using a like count? Yes, we shaved. I initially had to do the beard because we hit a certain amount of likes, and it was one of the bets, so I finally got rid of it. I mean, it was over, right? I mean, the bet wasn't forever. Berticus says, glad he got rid of that beard. Looked like a load of bees around his neck. Good, clean shaven look now. You guys are hilarious. Claudio says, everyone should hit the like button before asking questions, and Tron sucks. What? Oh, it's funny you talk about Tron. It actually segues right into our next article here. You can see here, Tron offers a $100,000 bounty for anybody who can find a bug in their mainnet. So any of you that want $100,000, see if you can find a bug within Tron's mainnet, and that's going to be all yours. But congratulations to Tron. They had a successful mainnet launch. You can see 24 hours in conjunction with that mainnet launch, they're down 2.2%. Nothing substantial, but if we were to take a look at their technical analysis here, you can see we're right on that 50-day moving average, and it looks like we're finding some support alongside that 50. I think it's a good time to enter a position in Tron, because now you can have a very tight stop loss set right under that 50-day moving average, and then just wait for a candlestick on the daily to close there to know that it's most likely going to see lower price levels, because you do have to be quite careful here with Tron right now, knowing that we're below this EMA. You guys know anything below this red line right here is bearish, because that is showing that we're not seeing any strength with its price action. So I'd be a little bit careful with Tron right now. Maybe give it a couple more days, see how it reacts within this 50-day moving average, whether or not it's going to hold. And if it does, then that's going to be very bullish. And then if we can see this EMA start to drop down just a little bit, maybe a sideways consolidation with Tron, that would be the ideal scenario, because then eventually what would happen is that as this EMA descends, we'll start to see the price action go above that EMA, and that would turn it into a bullish scenario. So that's what I would do here if you guys are trying to play Tron. Another article here, check this out. China could be opening up to Bitcoin regulations rather than an outright ban. Very positive news following the news of, I believe it was Zimbabwe lifting its Bitcoin ban, and then South Korea officially recognizing cryptocurrency as a currency, and now China talking about possibly opening up regulations. So you can see here, it says here, if the Chinese government attempts to stifle Bitcoin's growth along with the use of cryptocurrencies, there is a worry that country could be left behind in the possible impending blockchain revolution. And I agree 100%. Let's pop our LaCroix here. This is our guilt-free soda, brought to you straight from Sniper's Tube. Yoni Kachan says, Bitcoin on daily is forming same fractal pattern as it did during the early April lows, meaning a massive bullish explosion is on the horizon. Thoughts? I am very excited. That's my thoughts on it, because I agree 100%, guys. Remember, I am not unfaithful of Bitcoin. I am very excited about this technology. I'm very excited about this market, and I have an expectation that we're truly going to see a nice bull run coming soon. Remember, you don't ever underestimate Bitcoin. Look, every time you can see it swung down and swung up, swung down and swung up, swung down, swung up, typically swinging up either higher or more extreme than when it swung down. So tons of room for profits, tons of money to be made, and I'm excited for this market to start seeing itself go above this red EMA, because now we're going to start to see some bullish action. You can see we're fighting to get above that red EMA right now, which would be the ideal scenario for Bitcoin, and it looks like it's going to do it. You know, we got quite a bit of price action here on the daily candlestick. This looks like a definite reversal in my opinion. Des MK1 says, your beard went bearish. Devin Weidinger says, in general, how is Russia responding to crypto? I keep hearing shyness from China. I would say Russia is embracing it quite a bit. A lot of Russians are, you know, creating projects, getting into this verse, and it's really a global revolution. Brooklyn says, what's the white line, and do you get both the red and white line to appear by choosing MA from the tools? No. The red line is going to be our EMA set at the length of 9, and then our 50-day moving average is the white line, so that length is on 50. So this one is actually the moving average indicator here. You can see here it's the moving average, and then this is the EMA, or the moving average exponential under indicator. So if you click insert indicators and then you go to my favorites, you can see here moving average exponential, and then I don't have the moving average there, but it's just a regular moving average. Or you can use the 3 simple moving averages, which would show you the 50, the 100, and the 200 day on default. Mark Maxwell says, $10,000 bug bounty offered by EOS, 100,000 bug bounty offered by TRX. Justin Sun is clowning. That is awesome, Mark Maxwell. So apparently Tron is offering a lot more. Mr. Nice Guy says, Naeem, love you, brother. Hit the likes for the man. You've helped me so much. That is awesome. Did you guys take advantage of my Cardano call? I was rewatching my live stream. I watch all of my live streams just so I can get better as a live streamer for you all. And I was listening to my live stream yesterday, and I talked about buying into Cardano, and then look what happened. So hopefully you guys took advantage of that. If you did, say I in the chat. If y'all are making money on Cardano with the increase in volume, we went bullish on the RSI, and then on the live stream we talked about that MACD crossover. Let's see who made some money on that. Long range crypto, I. Stafford said I. Jose Saldana said I. APC said I. Moniru said I. Kisan, Jazz Knobs, Mike, Bread, Adonis. Man, y'all are making money. Jesse Wortman even made money too. Fabrice said he made money. Mitch88, good job. Great Day says, already holding a big bag. Well, you better secure them bags, boy. First Form says, my brother, would you mind doing some TA on Quantum? We'll do some more TA in a sec. Rayanne Janald said, is it a good time to get EOS? I want to invest, but I don't know if it's a good time. Well, EOS is also facing quite a similar scenario as to Tron. We know EOS is a very good project. Long term, I'm very bullish on this project. And what I like about EOS that we're not really seeing with Tron is we're just kind of consolidating right now, right? You can see we actually have quite a bit of a pennant forming here with an ascending support level forming here. And then, by the way, somebody yesterday on the comments were like, that's not a pennant. A pennant doesn't look like that. Are you kidding me? Go to google.com, type in a pennant, and then guess what? I guarantee you It's a descending resistance level and an ascending support level. Look at that. Descending resistance, ascending support. Man, I just wanted to clear that up. People think they're so smart, but in reality, they're just cynical and self-absorbed. They think they're right all the time, right? Or they want to prove somebody wrong, even though they're not wrong. So you can see with EOS, we're consolidating very nice into this pennant. We're right above that 50-day moving average. I talked about it yesterday, but the cool thing about EOS is we're not only above this EMA right now, which is bullish, but we're close to the moving average. So what you can do is you can set positions up right now and then set up stop losses near to that 50-day moving average as a last resort, just in case prices do start to see any sort of descent. But remember, this project is a hugely influential project in this market. I see it doing a lot of big things in this sphere, and you can see with the MACD, we're not necessarily crossing over. It looks like it's almost like two opposite magnets trying to touch each other, but it's not necessarily touching just yet. But you can see with the histogram, we've already exhausted quite a bit of sellers. So I'm expecting buyers to come in, but we'll have to see what happens, because remember, this is one of those odd scenarios alongside with Tron being that the mainnet has just launched. And you can see with the Fibonacci retracement, we're right on that resistance at the 0.5. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Norbert said, EOS is massive, airdrops galore. Evan Reckon says, I need your My Ether wallet deposit address, Naeem. Okay, I'll send it. Sorry about that. Mike Serasano says, be open-minded, Principles by Ray Dalio. I highly recommend you guys read that book, Principles by Ray Dalio. If you guys want to get a mixture of not only one of the greatest traders and market predictors in the world, but also his fundamental ethics and his morals combined with the personal development and trading and the techniques, it's like such a gold mine. It's an awesome book. Highly recommend it. Saj says 500 likes if he presents without his glasses. Deal. If we hit 500 likes, I'll grab my glasses and smash them in half and then not use them for any more live streams forever. I'm just kidding. And you see the likes going up. Evan says, good show. I'm proud of you, Naeem. Thank you. Jose Saldana, good question. Are you more bullish on EOS or Ethereum? I would say there's more upside potential with EOS right now, but I'm very bullish on both projects. They're fundamentally different. So I'll tell you what. If you're a hedge fund, you've definitely got stake in EOS and Ethereum. There's not one hedge fund that will only have one. You know why? Because they're total opposites. EOS is a centralized ecosystem, whereas Ethereum is a decentralized ecosystem. Roman says, what's up, Naeem? You look bigger with your beard. I'm sorry. I'll just go eat more and maybe I'll get bigger. Andrew Soda said 0 likes and we stopped making bets for likes. Well, that'll never happen. Here's an interesting comment. King Kind Media says, do you suggest being all in Bitcoin once the bulls run? I find in past when I hold cryptos, they bleed during the bull runs of past. I would say that you should have a diversified portfolio that is thoughtful and insightful, something that actually has intrinsic value. Vipul says, XRP, not Ripple. They still need to change that on CoinMarketCap. Chris says, you look better clean shaved, Naeem. Thank you. Hamburger says, Naeem looks pre-teen when he shaves. Andrew says, what do you think of the president of the U.S.? Donald Trump? I think that the government is a business at the end of the day, and he's a great businessman, so I think he's in his right spot. Just saying. Andrew says, what do you think of the president? Now, ethics and stuff, that's a whole other story. Ryan said, what is the top term projects you would suggest to invest in? I'm really liking Zilliqa. Recently, I've seen some news come up for Zilliqa. Let's see what Zilliqa is doing right now. Let's see overall market here. Zilliqa, 2.33% up in the past 24 hours. Some of our market movers today include Stellar at 6.7%. More importantly, IOTA showing 11% gains over the past 24 hours. Cardano also sitting there with Stellar at 6.67%. Those are pretty much our top gainers, alongside with the Binance coin outdoing all three of those at 13.99%, almost 14% gains in the past 24 hours. One of the best performing coins today. And we all know the Binance coin is a coin that I'm extremely bullish on. I think they added XRP to BNB coin pairings, and that's why we're seeing such a rise. I believe that's the reason. And if not, regardless, this is a coin I'm very bullish on. It's 9% up in the past 7 days, whereas the majority of coins are down in the past 7 days outside of Cardano, Stellar, and IOTA. So very interesting to see that. Tron is down 16% over the past 24 hours. That is quite a bit. Bitcoin and Ethereum down less than 4%. Not too bad. Quite the consolidation for those two, alongside with Ripple at 3%. So pretty interesting there. I felt like a weatherman for just a second, right? Sounded like I was going through the weather. Maniru says, I made 4,000 on Cardano watching you last week videos. Thanks, bro. Good job, man. That is awesome. Rand says, what site do you suggest to trade altcoins on? I would say Binance. Paul says, LOL. Kay says, what do you think about EOS? I love EOS. Great project. Very big use case. I see a lot of places going to EOS for sure. Somebody said Theta, very interesting tech. A lot of people are talking about Theta. Interesting. Matthew says, thoughts on all of Binance's USDT pairings. No real volume yet, but nonetheless, great move in the right direction for a leader in the crypto exchange verse. I think it's kind of like iTunes. When Apple first released iTunes, it wasn't like the craziest hit in the world, but over time it became a market leader. So just give people time to adapt and to be accustomed to Binance, Matthew, and then I think we'll see some very good things soon. Sniper Suit, bullish on good weather or no? Hopefully it stays good weather out here, right? Somebody says, could you check out Siacoin? LTC news about to fork. Interesting. Rayan says, how would you suggest to learn TA? Continue to watch our videos and then wait for our course to come out. We're working on a really cool course soon. But I would say just utilize YouTube. That's a huge resource. Somebody says 10 years younger with the beard off. That's awesome. So check out another headline here. Either we keep innovation in the US or we move it offshore, the SEC said. And I like the fact that they're understanding the fact that if they are delayed with regulating this industry, more and more companies are going to go offshore and take innovation outside the US. Very, very good for the maturation of this market. So I'm excited. There's an awesome article here on Trust Nodes. I'll leave the link in the description below, but it's pretty in depth here. And it talks about this SEC panel that occurred here. Another big headline here, Bittrex to launch fiat trading options after new bank partnership. Banks are now opening themselves up more and more to these cryptocurrency exchanges, and that is leading to partnerships like the one Bittrex obtained here, allowing it to utilize USD pairings, which is once again also going to coincide with what Brad Garlinghouse said about the maturation of this market, to where the correlation of Bitcoin and altcoins will start to separate. And then to finalize these headlines, we'll kind of look at this overall market and talk about some coins that I'm excited about here. We talked about the Binance coin several weeks ago. That's pretty much the best performer right now. And I think that Ontology is starting to creep up at 10% over the past 24 hours and 5% over the past 7 days. It's looking really good, and I can definitely see that starting to head up. Zilliqa, once again, down to these lower levels. If you guys missed out on the first rally with Zilliqa, this could be your chance to get yourself back in. As we know, Zilliqa is doing some very unique things with their blockchain. And then to go down here, you can see Steam is down 18%, a project I'm extremely bullish on long term. It's one of the legacy coins. Very interesting to see that down so much. Verge, not seeing quite too much volume, but you can see here sitting at around 3 cents at number 33. Kind of wore off a little bit with the hype that occurred there. So it's going to be interesting to see where that heads up. And then with that being said, do you guys have any other questions before we wrap this baby up? Jacob says, Dalio talks about how important asset allocation is. What principles are you currently using? Well, I use a lot of Ray Dalio's principles. Farouk says 150 likes to replace this big annoying mic. Are we not at 150 likes? Come on. We do these live streams for y'all and we can't even hit 150 likes. We're at 97. If you guys appreciate these live streams, show some love. Come on. Hit that like. Somebody says, your thoughts on BAB. Haven't looked much into BAB. Here's a good one. Master says, do you believe Bitcoin has enough accumulation in order for a bull run to occur? Also comparing 2014 and 2018. Well, volume has been quite lackworthy of Bitcoin over the past few weeks. And I think that's just a matter of overall markets not necessarily expecting as much as we saw in December, but we have to understand that regulations are still maturing. And what's cool is we talked about yesterday, every time Bitcoin has hit that 30, we've swung up. So Bitcoin is still very predictable, and I think there's a lot of money to be made. You can see here as well, we are starting to cross over 40. That is very good here. You can see here with the RSI, it has just crossed 40. Very bullish here. Starting to curve a little bit, but hopefully we'll find support along 40. And that, in my opinion, is the time in which we are a lot more confident that Bitcoin is starting its reversal, because the majority of times it's went above 40, it's went up quite a bit. So it's good to end the live stream on that note. So thank you all for tuning in today. Yanni said, once again, Bitcoin on daily is forming the same fractal pattern as it did during the early April lows, meaning a massive bullish explosion. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But yes, thank you all so much. If you guys are not on our Discord, head over to our Discord. We have a free community open 24/7 with analysts there posting analysis daily for our premium members. So there's a premium version as well, but there's also the free version. Discord link is in the description below. I'll see some of you guys there. You can see a little bit of a sneak peek on how our Discord looks with all of these different tabs. We have a lot of resources alongside with our helpful reads, and we actually recommend this book, Principles Right Out, the one we've been talking about throughout this live stream. So love you all so much. Thank you all for tuning in, and until our next one, let's see if this next bull run is going to be the massive explosion we've been expecting. Snipers out.